Hey guys, I just wanted to do a really quick video to talk to you about how to best set up your home desk. So obviously for most of us, we're spending a lot more time either working or studying from home in 2020 than we could have possibly anticipated. And it's most likely that that's going to go on for a significant period of time. So it's really important that we have a desk set up that feels comfortable and that's not causing us any physical sort of musculoskeletal aches or pains that could be easily avoided. Okay, so the first thing and one of the most important things we're going to look at is the height of your computer screen. So whether you're working from a desktop or a laptop, it's actually really important that the screen height is roughly eye height. So you can see that I've invested in a lot of osteopathic textbooks over the years, which are coming in super handy for their huge price tag for propping up my laptop at the moment. So the reason that we want our screen to be at eye height is because if our screen is down here, we're going to spend a huge amount of time doing this and this, and our neck hates it, and it tends to actually cause quite a lot of headaches as well. So if you have a desktop, you might be able to actually raise that up. If you have a laptop, stack it on as many different books as you need to get that up to eye height. So you essentially want to get to a stage where to look at the screen, you don't need to lower your head whatsoever. That's going to make a really, really big difference. The second thing that you'd love to do is to get your keyboard at elbow and wrist height. So for me, because I've got a laptop, I've already raised my screen to eye height. So if I was typing up here, you can probably tell that this is going to get physically uncomfortable really quickly. So I've got a Bluetooth keyboard. This is a really cheap one. You can get cheap ones, you can get expensive, awesome ones. It doesn't really matter. But you want to check in and make sure that your keyboard is pretty similar to elbow and wrist height. So if you have to lean up to get your wrists on the keyboard, you either need to raise your seat or lower your keyboard. And if you're typing down like this, that will also get really uncomfortable over time. So you basically want to check in and see, can I rest the heel of my hand comfortably on something, and are my wrists and my elbows at a similar height and my shoulders relaxed? The third thing we'd like to look at is our sitting posture. So some of us have a sit to stand desk, which is amazing. Some of us just have a normal desk like myself, which is also totally fine. The main thing you want to think about, whether you're sitting or standing or a bit of both, is you want to have your head centered above your shoulders and your shoulders centered above your hips. That might sound really simple, but most of us don't do that. So most of us are actually leaning forwards all the time. And I'm exaggerating that a bit, but not a lot. So when we stack our head over our shoulders, over our hips, gravity really does an awesome job of distributing our body weight through our spinal column. When we lean forwards, our muscles do heaps of hard work and they tend to get really uncomfortable and let us know about it by feeling sore or giving us headaches. So lean into your chair, stack your head above your shoulders and allow gravity to do a lot of that hard work for you. And the fourth and final thing I'd like to talk about is what's happening through the lower body. So if you're in a standing desk or you have a desk that stands some of the time, I'd encourage you to center your weight evenly. And what I mean by that is you don't want to be popping your hip to one side or the other, or your low back and your hips will have a lot to say about it. If you're seated, it's the same kind of principle. You want to be centered in your seat. So I personally really like sitting with crossed legs, and I've deliberately bought an office chair with no arms so that I'm able to do that. And I'll change the cross of my legs every half hour or hour or so. If cross legs isn't comfortable for you, and it's not for a lot of people, sitting with the soles of your feet on the floor and evenly planted is much better than crossing one leg over the other, because this can really skew our sacrum, our sacroiliac joint and our hips over time. So be centered, be calm, and if you do have an asymmetrical pose, change it every half an hour or hour. And my lucky last tip, and it's a super simple one, is I encourage you to make use of this little feature on your computer, which will be a bit different for all of us. It's basically an alarm, and if you don't have it on your computer, you'll certainly have it on your phone. So I actually set my alarm to go off every 60 minutes, and it reminds me that I've been sitting still probably in one position for 60 minutes straight, and I just get up, have a bit of a stretch, move around for 60 seconds and sit back down. It's super tempting to fall into the trap of thinking that you can't afford to stop because it's important, you're busy and you have to keep going. I guarantee you 60 seconds of movement and a posture reset every 60 minutes will not make you less productive. If anything, it's quite the opposite. But your body will really thank you if you can just have that little breather and check in with yourself every 60 minutes and make sure that you're sitting and working in a way that your body is comfortable in and you're not setting yourself up for discomfort.